Hey, Andy here from builderhottub.com. In this video, we're going to catch up with Darren in Arizona and his DIY hot tub build. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so Darren in Arizona has started his DIY hot tub build, and behind me you can see a render of what he's actually going to build, and as later in the video we'll take a look at exactly what stage he is at. So what's the specs of this build? So this build is going to be made out of CMU blocks. CMU blocks are the hollow concrete blocks which you place rebar inside and then you fill with concrete to give all of that strength. So that's what he's going to use for the build itself. The hot tub is going to be in ground, as you can see from the render. It's going to have 14 jets. It's got a baja shelf or a sun shelf, and in that sun shelf as well there's a couple of bubblers. So bubblers are the upward, they're not kind of jets, they're more like the regular pool returns, but under pressure they create bubbles in that area. It's quite popular to have them in those baja shelves. And he's also got a swim jet in there as well, so there's loads of different functionality for this tub. What's going to make this super interesting is he's actually going to have a solar heated circulatory water system via a heat exchanger, as well as a gas heater to heat all of this. And I've put together a custom built controller for him. We're going to have a control room behind the swim jet, which will house the pump for the swim jet, for the main jets and for the bubbler. And then we're going to have a separate pool pad, which will have a pump for the circulation that will also do the heating. The gas heater is going to be there, the sand filter is going to be there, because on this particular build we're using a sand filter because of the sheer size of the pool, and it's just easier and better for the filtration for a larger pool to use a sand filter rather than a cartridge filter. Now, before we catch up and see exactly where Darren is at with his build, always a great opportunity for me to get this in there and say, please do subscribe to the channel, hit that notification icon to be notified when my videos go live. I do 2 long form videos just like this every single week, a whole bunch of shorts, and everything on my channel focuses on DIY hot tubs, plunge pools, parts, and pretty much everything in between. So with that out the way, where is Darren currently at? Well, behind me you can see that he has poured his base. And in pouring his base, he's got to make sure that he puts the bottom main drains in, and the pipework for those main drains actually sits in the base as well. So if you've followed this channel or indeed the blog, you'd have seen in previous case studies that before you pour your base, if you're putting in your bottom main drains, then you're going to need to put some pipework in there as well. You don't need to connect it all up, you just need to have the run so that you've got something to connect to when it finishes the run at the end of your slab. Those risers are tied in there so that he can drop his CMU blocks in, and it just helps to keep everything nice and tight and avoids the splitting. Because it's not a mono pour, because he's using CMU blocks, those risers help tie everything together. So it's always a good idea to have those risers coming out of your hot tub slab or base so that you've got something to tie into. After a week or so of curing time, this is exactly where Darren is now. So it's really taken shape. You can see that there's quite a few courses of CMU blocks that have gone in. They've not been filled, they've not all been rebarred at the moment, but you can also see that the seats are in there. So it's really taken shape quite quickly, this build. Now, those eagle-eyed amongst you might be able to spot the markings that are on the back wall there. Therefore, the swim jet to be installed, and there's also going to be 4 separate super high flow suction drains. 2 of those are going to be used for the bubblers and 2 of those are going to be used for the main jets. You always have 2 inward suction. It's for VGB anti-entrapment compliance, and you've got to make sure that they all tee off as well. So if one gets blocked, there's still flow coming through the other one as well. So what's the next steps for Darren? Well, he's got to get those inward suction and he's got to get the swim jet body into his wall. He's then going to put the hot water returns in. He's got to put some pipes through the walls for the gunite bodies, and then it's time for rendering. So he's got an amount of plumbing to get in there before he can move on to the kind of next stage of rendering up the surface and then waterproofing it. You've got to get those plumbing fixtures in there first. So don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of the updates on this or any of the other projects that are ongoing at the moment. As always, I hope you found this video useful. I appreciate the view. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video. If you've liked this video, please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next video.